Hey, 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 internets, YouTubers, social webs, all that fun stuff. It's me, Anthony Sika, comic book creator, writer, artiste, bass player, vocalist, songwriter, general manager of mayhem here on the Anthony Sika YouTube channel. Tonight, we have a very special guest. We're going to be talking about sex, drugs, rock and roll. And now I'm going to introduce first my co-host talking about eating salad, Jeff Rankin.
What's
All right.
happening?
How are you, Jeff?
Doing good, brother. Doing
What
good.
you got on tonight? You got a Motley Crue shirt?
Motley
Look at that.
Crue?
He's got a Motley Crue. Dr. Feel Good.
Absolutely.
I'm sporting a Kiss Destroyer. The reason for all these 80s hair band, glam metal, rock t-shirts tonight is we have a very, very special guest. He is a rock photographer. He is a celebrity photographer. He is an actor. He is a director. He is Michael Strider.
Yeah.
Hi guys, how
What's
are you?
up? You wanted the best. Now we have Michael Strider on.
You got the best. Well, hold it, the best. Who did you? But you got me anyway. So.
I know that. Well, that was the joke. We wanted the best, but we got you.
Right.
Hey, Michael Strider. We ran across each other. Well, let me say we got a phantasmagorical says hail, heya. What's up, phantasmagorical? We got some good stories tonight. I hope you're ready. All right. Also, real quick, if you're just joining the show, in the comments, or if you're watching it on replay, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notifications button if you like what you see here, because then you'll find out about, whatever my next YouTube video will be. And you never know. Sometimes it's about comics. Sometimes it's about female wrestlers. Sometimes it's about rock photographers. Sometimes it's just me ranting for an hour telling you that you should buy shit from me. It doesn't matter. This is how the YouTube rolls. Anyway, Michael Strider, celebrity photographer, director, actor, yada, yada, yada. But I got to ask you, before we get a rundown of your history, of your crazy stories that you teased me with, I want to know what you're doing right now. First, I saw you photographing Cheech Marin like yesterday. What was that about?
Yeah, I've been friends with Cheech and Natasha, his wife, I guess, for about 12 or 13 years or something like that. So I wanted to hang out, and they wanted to hang out before I leave because I'm going back to North Carolina. So they were like, "Well, come on over yesterday." So we had fun and hung out and sat out on the balcony and everything.
I saw you had some lighting set up, though. Did you take photos?
Oh, yeah. Okay. We always do photos when we're together. So.
And is this for professional reasons, or is it for his personal reasons?
Both. It's both.
Both.
They use it for their stuff, and then I use it for mine. And I've been doing a book for like 7 years, so I use it for my book too.
Oh, so. Very cool. Very cool. Also, I'm going to show your website later. If anyone wants to check out Michael's stuff, you can go to michaelstrider.com. And I'm going to show off some of his work. Also, Michael, you told me, and you shared pictures, even though I didn't download those specifically. You're appearing in the new Pam and Tommy show on Hulu.
Yes, I think it's on episode 7 or 8.
Okay, which there's only 3 up so far, so no one's going to see that yet.
I think it's going to hit at the end of this month or the very first week of next month.
And what is the role you're playing?
I'm Motley Crue's manager / bodyguard.
Very nice. Now,
most of the time you'll see me standing around with my arms crossed, and that's pretty much it.
A gig's a gig, my man. But
it is.
I'm going to segue. I said I was going to talk about everything new, but I'm going to talk about old right now. You said that you know Tommy. You got in some arguments with him. You've shot the crew, no doubt. Right. Why don't you tell us a fun Motley Crue story before I hit you up about your directing you're doing?
Well, I'll tell you a crazy one. I was with
Please.
him the night in Greensboro, North Carolina. I believe it was '97 when Nikki called the black security guard the N-word.
Oh,
And we were all like, oh God, what do we do now? This is really crazy. So it was needless to say, that was a really crazy night. There was a lot of press and a lot of media afterwards, with everybody contacting me wanting to talk about it, and, all this stuff. So I tried to lay low. I didn't want to get involved with it.
right. Well,
But
that did kind of blow over, because
Right.
that was what, the mid '90s, late '90s.
Late night. They
yeah.
paid a big fine.
Yeah.
And
So if that was today,
Oh.
Nikki would have been canceled and would have never played again.
right.
And Neil Young would have pulled all his music off of Spotify.
Oh, yeah. Jesus, I'm
hey,
so tired of hearing about that.
We got a question real quick. Phantasmagorical says, Michael, did you ever meet or photograph Chris Cornell?
Yes. On Lollapalooza. They did Lollapalooza with Metallica and the Ramones.
Wow, gabba gabba. Hey, Phantasmagorical. Michael shot them on Lollapalooza with the Ramones and Metallica.
He was a great guy. He was very cool and very nice, very, very laid back. And
yeah,
he was really he was a lot of fun to work with. He was one of the much nicer ones that I've worked with.
Very nice.
Obviously all of them aren't like that, but
right.
He was very cool, very sweet guy.
Gotcha. So let's talk about something else. You're shooting Cheech Marin, so you're a celebrity / rock photographer, because we just told our audience that you've shot Motley Crue, you've shot Cheech Marin the other day. Okay.
Right.
You're also doing a movie. Tell me a little bit about that, and I'll show some pictures a little later, recapping everything you've done. Okay.
Okay.
But tell us a little bit about, what is it called? Paranorman?
It's called Lake Norman.
Lake Norman. Oh,
Yeah.
Paranorman was some cartoon movie. That's right. I'm sorry.
We call it Paranorman, but there's no ghosts in it. It's just killers.
Yeah. Okay, so it's called Lake Norman.
Right.
Is Norman Fell from Three's Company the killer?
I wish.
Okay.
He'd be about 110 years old right now. If he
he's quite dead.
Yes, he is. One of my friends was on that show with him. I used to love that show growing up a lot.
What was the name of the bar? I loved it. What was it? The Legal Beagle or something?
The Regal Beagle.
Regal Beagle. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. It was fun. It was a lot of that show was a lot of fun.
I learned about sex through that show.
I was going to say there was a lot of.
I learned about the birds and bees in that show with the innuendo stuff they did, and then I'm like, oh, that's what they're doing. Oh, okay.
For me, it was a combination of Three's Company, Gilligan's Island. Those two shows were biggies. They definitely were.
Let's go back to Lake Norman real quick. This is a movie you're doing. Is it a horror slasher parody, or is it a serious thing?
It's a horror / comedy. It's our take on. It's kind of an indie version of the Friday the 13th franchise.
Okay.
It's our take, which you can't do just serious, because if you want serious, just watch the franchise movie. You can't do better than those guys.
Sure.
So we're doing. Just ask yourself this question: what would Jason, Michael, and Leatherface do on their day off if they teamed up together? So just think of it like that.
Now, how are you getting the rights, or are you changing their names?
We're not making any money on it, so we're.
Oh, I got you. Oh, so it's like a, and pardon the expression, it's like a fan film.
I hate that phrase, but yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's like a fan-made film.
You can't use that word at all, but yes, it's exactly what you're saying. It's an indie version. No money is made. We're just having fun, Yeah,
it's like when you see the Star Wars movies on YouTube.
Yes.
And they're a half an hour long, and they have, special effects and actors in them, but they're not making any money, so they can use it. Jeff, if you're done with your salad, I was wondering if you would like to start our interview with Michael by asking Michael a question. Oh, Michael's doing a shot too, so I'm going to pretend to do a shot of my beverage.
Dexter wants to have a shot, but he can't have it.
Uh-oh. Yeah, okay, good.
Frozen.
Yeah, he's unfrozen.
Wow.
All right. Anyway, go ahead, Jeff. Ask Michael a question.
Well, so I'm just kind of curious. I've seen some, I don't know how on this Pam and Tommy show that's come out. Now, obviously, this is, new, so it's kind of hot, right?
Yeah.
Like being on the set with some of these guys, these characters, these actors and stuff and actresses, is their personalities as jerkish as they're portraying, or are they actually just doing a fantastic job with their roles?
Well, sometimes they're more of a. Can I say anything I want to?
Sure.
Okay, so
yes.
Sometimes they're more of a dick than they are portraying, and sometimes they are completely opposite of that. In this one, obviously he's portraying Tommy, which we had our differences throughout the years, but Sebastian Stan was just amazing. When they would cut, he was Sebastian, and he was very nice. He was a very sweet guy. He was, if you watch him in the trailer, he's playing the drums and he's twirling, and it's at Tower Records.
Right.
We actually shot that in the parking lot of the old Tower Records.
That's cool.
And they had an old school tour bus, and they couldn't move it because they couldn't start it. So everybody had to push the tour bus. But as soon as he did that, I remember he stopped twirling and they cut, and he put it down and he looked over at me and he goes, "Dude, you look just like Quentin Tarantino." And I was like, "Sebastian, is that supposed to be a compliment, or I don't know what that is, but I'll take it."
Were you looking at his feet?
I promise I was not, but Quentin probably would have been.
All right.
So, yeah, he was a great guy. That whole cast was really, really amazing.
Now, you say you're in episode 7 or 8 or whatever. Were those those were directed by Lake Bell, were they not?
Yes.
Was she the director?
Yeah.
Okay. She's great. So.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
It was a perfect cast, and behind the scenes everything was great too. I mean, it was just a really fun time. It's not always like that, but
and there's my next question. What other acting roles have you had?
I did an episode of I believe it Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I did The Rookie. I did The Lincoln Lawyer, but I think it's coming out sometime later this month or next month. So I was a defense attorney. So they're little small things. It was fun, but
nice.
It's nothing that they're going to be kicking my door down about anytime soon.
Right. But
you know what I mean?
But you let's now jump to photography.
Yes.
You've been shooting celebrities, musicians, etc. since when?
Oh God. I used to sneak my do you remember the 110 cameras, like this long? Okay, so I used to sneak those down in the front of my pants and go into concerts when I was like 13 or 14 years old, and try to squeeze my way up to the front row and take pictures and get physically assaulted by the security guards. "Get out of here, kid. What are you doing?" Or whatever. So professionally, I started, I guess it was 94, probably something like that, 93. So with Ted Nugent.
Nice. Yeah, I have a picture of you and Ted I'll show off in a little bit.
Oh my God.
Ted Nugent. So when you worked at Ted Nugent professionally, you were in the actual pit, first 3 songs or whatever, taking pictures, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Down in the trenches, yes.
But I've seen you, a lot of these folks that you say you've shot, I also see you backstage with them, like Gwen Stefani, which I'll be showing off, and like I've seen pictures of you, which I'm going to show the audience very shortly, with Eddie Van Halen and Lars from Metallica. So after the Ted Nugent thing, did you have a steady gig as a photographer? And were you working for magazines or news media or websites, even early ones, or was this mostly for you?
Well, at that time, after I shot Ted, I worked a lot with, like, do you guys remember Hit Parader and Metal Edge?
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Circus. So most of the time I was working for those, but sometimes
you're talking to two guys that still have those magazines in their garage right now.
I do too.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I worked for those guys mainly, and sometimes I would do my own thing, or if they, if the rock stars wanted stuff themselves, they would hire me. So it was kind of a mixture, It was a lot of fun in those days. It was a lot of fun when it was cool in the early days, but it just kind of fizzled out,
I'm gonna take this opportunity to share a screen and show some pictures of your some of your stuff here. Let's see what we got here. All right, we're gonna start right off with the little Eddie Van Halen.
Oh yeah.
Look at you. Look at you. You're like, I think you just came from the set of Magnum PI.
I know.
Because you got the mustache and you got the Detroit Tigers hat on. You're good to go.
Yeah.
So we're gonna track back, and I'm gonna talk to you about this special charity project you've been doing, the outreach program. Or what's it called?
Life After Project.
Life After Project, and we'll get to that too because that has an Eddie Van Halen connection there. So these are probably in different order, but I'm just going to show off some of your picks. There's you with, and by the way, Michael, I have to say something. Some of these pictures, no doubt, from like this is probably like 96, 97, Balance Tour, whatever is going on, Sammy Hagar, Van Halen era. But what I'm saying is, you sent me 1 million pictures with celebrities and rock stars. Dude, you are doing Instagram selfies with people way before the selfies existed. I gotta give you credit on that. Next picture, we got you and Brittany. Now,
oh wow, yeah.
You shaved for this picture with Brittany, I see.
No Magnum in that one.
Brittany looks so jailbait in this picture. How old was she here?
She probably was, depending on the state you're calling from.
Right.
I think she had been on the cover of Rolling Stone the second time with the pink.
Oh, I got you. Cover. Yeah, with those Teletubbies, right?
Yeah. So she was 16 or 17. I think she was maybe 7. We'll say she was 17.
She's only 17.
Yeah, she was something at that time.
All right, she'd be old enough for everybody here. Anyway. Next, we have a real old picture of Gene Simmons here. Was this one of your bootleg illegal pictures with the camera down your pants?
And if you look to the right, you see the guy, the really tough dude with the beard here on the right.
Yep.
I'm friends with him after all these years. He was the one that would be like, "Hey, what are you doing with a fucking camera?" He'd say, "One more shot of Eddie, that's it."
Is that like? Are we looking at the Crazy Nights tour?
That was it was 1988.
Jeff, how good am I, huh, buddy?
You're on point, man.
I'm on point. I could tell what tour it is just from the bass he's playing.
No. You know what?
Or Hot in the Shade.
All right, I was close.
Jeff, you're right. It was Hot in the Shade because you can see barely see the Sphinx in the background.
I was close. I was off by a tour.
But it's okay.
We were the same thing.
Yeah, we were still on point there with our little 80s comments.
Well, you could tell from the mascara. All right, this is a Jason from your movie you're doing, right?
Yes, sir. That's me.
That is you? That's actually you under there?
No, that's my suit and my mask and everything.
All right, that looks killer.
It definitely does. Thank you very much.
Now, are you using a professional makeup people to do this, or are you involved yourself? Or
yeah, we've got all the professional guys have made all the suits, and I mean I have to buy like the actual suit, but they're doing all any kind of prosthetics and everything. It's really pretty awesome if you ask me.
Very cool.
If I do say so myself.
Very cool.
I do not have the talent to do that kind of stuff.
Here's a William Shatner. I mean, Michael Myers.
Yes, that's from Halloween 2. It's the replica of the one Dick Warlock wore.
Very nice. That's the name of my new band, Dick Warlock.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Dora Pesh, Tommy Lee band, Dick Warlock. Anyway,
Speaking of such,
speaking of a very young Gwen Stefani here in this picture.
Yes.
Of course, this is you photographing, no doubt.
Yeah, that was not her favorite picture, but I've just always loved it. So.
Well, it looks great to me.
I wonder why.
Now we have Cheech Marin from just 2 days ago?
Yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Now that is his daughter and wife?
That is his wife to his right, and then my friend and makeup artist to the far left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I hope Cheech isn't watching this, because man, he'll be mad at my question that I just asked. But anyway,
okay, it's all good. I'm sure he gets that all the time.
Yeah.
The first time I met them, we were in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Tabernacle, him and Chong, and
yeah.
They walked up, and I was like, "Well, Cheech brought his daughter with him. That's great." And they're like, "That's not his daughter. That's his wife." And I'm like, "Dude, Cheech, rock and roll, brother. That's amazing."
Yeah, yeah. That t-shirt,
so
that t-shirt she's wearing is older than she is. But anyway, hey, but quick, serious question: How's the weed? How's the weed at Cheech's house?
You know what? I get that all the time, and to be honest with you, Anthony, I'm not 100% sure that he smokes at this point.
Really?
I'm not sure. I've never really set him down and said, "Hey, do you really do this stuff?"
Well, I happen to know Tommy does.
Yes, he does. Tommy does. And I think Cheech probably does too, but he's never done it in front of me.
You know that squint he's doing with that left eye.
Is that my eye?
It's like earache my eye. Hey now. There's you with the Karate Kid himself, Ralph Macchio.
Yeah. Ralph, that's a good one. I love Ralph.
Now, is that recent or is that a few years ago?
That was a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think
he looks like he's aging in reverse then, because he looks older there than he does on TV now.
I mean, I cannot believe that they have made him look he looks like a kid still.
Yeah.
I love that
he's
show,
the Karate Kid.
Have you seen
And also,
are you guys watching it?
Also, Jeff and I love Ralph Macchio for Crossroads. So there you go.
Have you watched Cobra Kai?
Every season.
Of course.
Awesome. Yeah, it's awesome.
Of course. I like Tommy Lawrence better than him.
I love Tommy Lawrence too.
Anyway, Eagle Fang for life, Betty.
That's awesome.
And here we got Cheech and Chong.
That was in Atlanta.
Man, they're short, or you're really tall.
I'm really tall.
Oh, are you?
6'4".
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
So, but Cheech is a little bit, I'm not going to say short, but he's not as tall as I am. We'll put it that way. Yeah.
So we'd look like midgets next to him there, Anthony.
Oh, yeah, we would.
No,
we would actually, Jeff, we would just look like Cheech and Chong in that picture.
Anthony, you would be Chong.
All right. Here's Michael doing some cocaine, apparently, with Lars.
Yeah.
Or
no.
or someone farted, or he's listening to the bass mix on Injustice for All, or he's, I don't know, planning out the drum sound on Saint Anger. I don't know, one of those things. But Michael, Michael, you got like the guy who plays MacGruber look in that thing.
I'll tell you exactly what I was thinking if you want me to tell you. I remember that shot. I remember thinking, God, what a fucking asshole this guy is.
So,
And the rest of the band was great.
So please elaborate just a little bit. How egotistical is he?
Very. On a scale of egotistical scale of 1 to 10, he's about a 14. Oh, now at that time, now that's been 25 years ago. Or
Jeff,
no,
is that any surprise to you?
I'm surprised that this artist now would be of a 14. No surprise whatsoever.
Yeah. The rest of the band was really awesome. I mean, very cool. So cool.
There's something rotten in Denmark, I guess.
I guess.
Oh, and now, is that Gwen the same age as the picture, or is this a little older?
We took that on the very first, their very first tour with Bush. So I was with them on that I was with them on their first opening tour when they opened for Bush.
So is that when she fell in love with Gavin on that first tour?
She fell in love with me, and then I, told her that I was busy and I couldn't really.
Oh, and then you just gave Gavin your sloppy seconds, then, right?
Yeah, I just gave her to Gavin. That's what it was.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
So
you know how it goes. You know how it goes, Anthony. You're a rock star. You know how it goes.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, sure. All right. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is you before your root canal tomorrow with Gene.
Yes.
Holding your mouth open. Gene's looking very rock star with his Starbucks coffee there and the little Prius behind him. Now, how old is this? I'm thinking this is maybe 10 years ago?
This was 2000 because I had blonde streaks in my hair.
Man, time flies, don't it?
Yes, it does. I don't know why.
Now, here's the big question.
Okay, here it goes.
So, you're standing next to the God of Thunder.
Yes.
You're touching head to head. You are very tall because Gene is tall and he's holding your mouth open. But I gotta ask the $1 million question. Jeff, do you know where I'm going with this question?
Does that have anything to do with the tongue?
No, something else having to do with it. Something having to do with whatever's on top of Gene's head. I have to know. Is that his hair? No,
with him or with Stanley, both of them wear weaves.
Oh wow!
You can't possibly.
But it is. All right, but it is a weave, huh? Okay.
I need one then.
If you look at it, they still have the same hair now that they did then.
Well, no, I mean, to be honest with you, I see Instagram and tweets of Paul riding his bike, and his hair is a lot longer than it was a couple of years ago. Now, of course, we know they wear wigs when they do their stage show, but I always thought to myself that Gene was just like the Donald Trump syndrome. It's like if your hair looks that bad, it can't be fake because it looks so bad. But so you're telling me that's a weave, huh?
Yeah, it is.
And you're never planning to talk to Gene again because he's going to watch this interview and be very mad at you.
I'm sure he will. And if he does, who cares anyway?
That's true.
I remember that day.
Do you like Gene?
Do I like him?
Yeah.
Most of the time. We got the next time that I was with him, like a month later after this, we got into a huge argument.
Over women.
No, well, actually, that same night he came up to me and we were at the race because they had a KISS car. And Sam Bass, a buddy of mine from a long time ago, used to design those cars. And so they were at the show, and Gene comes up to me, and he's got a redhead under one arm and a brunette under another, and I mean, smoking hot.
Meanwhile, Shannon Tweed's at home.
Oh, of course, collecting money. And he comes up to me.
Just to clear that up.
Yeah, and he's strutting, and he goes, "Michael, I'd like you to meet my sisters." That's awesome. I remember saying, "Do you want to get rid of one of them or something, maybe?" But in this picture, he said, "Well, let's get a picture." And I said, "All right." I said, "Stick your tongue out." And he goes, "No, the ground's too dirty. You stick yours out." And I said, "Okay, cool."
Well, that's a joke he uses with everybody.
Oh, he does. He does that. But for the most part, he's a cool guy.
Well, how about I'm going to get to a picture eventually that shows you with Ace, Peter, Paul, and Gene. Who's the nicest of the four? And what's your guess, Jeff?
Ace, Peter, Paul, Gene. I'm gonna go with Ace.
Yeah, that's
Ace
my guess too, Michael. You want to crush our dreams?
Here it goes. Ace is very quiet. Peter, and I actually worked specifically for Peter on the last 2 shows of that 2000 tour, the first retirement tour, whatever it was.
Right.
Because he quit the band at that point, and he said, "Well,
Sure.
I want a photographer, so come on, I want you to be the photographer." And I said, "Okay, cool."
Nice.
And so they were. The rest of the guys were pretty nice to me. Excuse me. Paulie is kind of a recluse. He doesn't do well around people. He's a very good actor, because when you see him on social media and stuff, he's outgoing and whatever. But he doesn't do very well with people. And Gene is kind of the social butterfly. He's the one that kind of takes care of all that. If you notice, they all have their own little role. Well, the 2 of those guys have their own little roles. Eric Singer and Thayer are very nice. And I mean, I think that Tommy Thayer and 2 other guys will probably go on after these guys are done. I don't know who the drummer will be. The last time I talked to Singer, he said that he didn't want to do that. But they have plans. They have plans for the band to keep going and going and going.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have Kiss 3.0 or 5.0, but no one will
Hundreds
care.
of years from now. Yeah.
Hundreds of years from now, there'll be robotic animatronic Kiss guys.
They've got plans to have like
Ace Frehley must be a dick though, because Michael just totally went around that question.
He was never a dick to me.
All right.
He's not. Him and Peter are just notoriously not the nicest guys.
Ooh, hot take.
They probably have chips on their shoulder. I mean, if you have to work with Gene and Paul on a business level, you probably wouldn't be very happy either.
Folks in the comments section, I want to ask real quick. Simply Incredible Podcast, who is a co-host sometimes and a follower of the YouTube channel. He was looking forward to hearing this interview. We already heard Simply Incredible that Lars Ulrich is a complete asshole, or at least that's me. How are the and Michael, repeat for me for our question. The rest of the Metallica, they're pretty cool.
Incredible. Jason Newsted was one of the absolute coolest guys that I've ever known.
I can see that. He's great guy.
The rest of them, Hetfield and I'm trying to think of the guitar player. I can't even think of it.
Kirk Hammett.
Yeah, Kirk Hammett. Those guys were super cool. Super cool. Hetfield. Jason is the nicest. Probably one of the top. Him and Michael Anthony are probably the nicest rock stars in the world.
Sure, the guys that got thrown out of the band. Anyway, have Daytona Falls had a relationship with Leslie from Mountain. Do you ever work with the lead singer Leslie West from Mountain?
Never. I saw them, but I never worked with them. They were with
all right. Well, no Mississippi Queen for you, but that is funny that the 2 bass players who are the nice guys are the ones not in the band anymore. Here is a picture. Who is this now? What character is this?
That's Jason. That's actually me after I wake up after a hard.
So that's Jason Voorhees without his masky on, huh?
Yeah, that's.
And again, if you're just joining us, Michael Strider is directing and producing, I guess, and writing a Lake Norman. It's a non-profit film, which has Michael
and Leatherface.
Michael and Leatherface, all hanging around a lake, sipping sweet tea on their day off.
Everybody and
killing lots of people.
Yeah.
We got look at this. We got Schnizzle and the Dizzle. We got Michael Strider is playing a drug dealer here with Snoop Dogg. Actually, you look like a DEA agent from 1992 there, Michael.
How did you guess? That was right after my Magnum PI years.
Yeah, and that looks like it's 1992, judging by Snoop's lovely youthful face. Now, did you photograph Snoop in concert and personally, or is this just a selfie?
No, we did a shoot that night.
I got you.
And I think it was in the late 90s. I can't remember. I believe.
Okay.
I think.
Which would make sense. Which would make sense because Kiss reunited in what 95, 96, and I know that they appeared on the Grammys with Tupac before Tupac was killed, of course, and that was before their reunion, like the 6 months before their reunion. So Snoop was still a babyface working with Tupac and Suge Knight and all those funny guys.
Oh God, yeah. I've got stories about Suge too. Woo! He was with Dr. Dre at that time.
And speaking of stories and scary, we got Marilyn Manson here.
Oh God.
All right, one sentence. Let's sum up your relationship with Marilyn Manson, barring any legal ramifications.
Well, I had to restructure that sentence, Sam.
Okay.
He's a great actor.
Ooh, hot take.
Yeah, he's a great actor. He spit in my face a few times one night. The second time that I shot him, I actually had to have bodyguards, 2 bodyguards. Not because of him, but because of the fans at the time were insane.
Sure.
Crazy.
Sure.
My agent, this is crazy. My agent called me in North Carolina the first time, which was this time that you see here. And she goes, well, look, I need you to go to St. Petersburg, Florida. I said, why? Because we had a snowstorm. I said, well, what's in St. Petersburg? She said, you're going to shoot at a place called Janice Landing. And
we know it well, Jeff and I.
Yeah, and you got to shoot Marilyn Manson.
Spooky kids.
Right. And she said, you got to shoot Marilyn Manson. And I said, well, what kind of music does she play? And she goes, it's not a she, it's a guy. And I'm like, well, look, what the hell is this? And so it was very memorable that night. Very memorable.
So is this picture from Janice Landing?
Yes, it is.
Wow, that's incredible.
There were kids coming up to me that were probably 13 years old, and they were telling me that they would sell their soul for my backstage pass. And God, it was crazy.
So how many souls did you collect that night?
I didn't collect any. I started to give out Bibles or something. I was like, man, this is these people.
I bet if you were staying in a hotel, you went and took a long shower after that show.
We drove straight back that night.
Jeff.
Crazy.
Jeff Rankin, you still with us? Jeff's a big Marilyn Manson fan.
Okay.
Okay.
You're not a big
I'm just going to move on. Oh, well, here's more up Jeff's alley.
There we go.
It's Michael Strider standing there with Ted Nugent while wearing a T-shirt that looks like he has his own picture on it with Eddie Van Halen.
Yes.
What a meta picture that is.
That was awesome.
Now,
I think he got mad at me for wearing that too.
Now, what is Ted filling out there? His Republican voter registration or something else? Or
he had just gotten, that was a really crazy day. He had gotten upset with me because of something that was not my fault.
He didn't shoot you, did he?
I begged my way out of it.
All right.
That was he got mad at me. We had to do a signing like 2 hours away in a small town that day before he played. And he was in a bad mood all day long. And he got mad at me. And I'm going to tell you this. It was so intense that it took me 2 weeks to get over it. Look at
Michael, every story, people are getting mad at you. What are you doing, these celebrities? And Jeff, Simply Parable Podcast says you're one of the beautiful people.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff. I try to be. No,
that was toward Jeff. Michael, my inner dialogue is saying you look like Keith Hernandez from the Mets in that picture.
I don't even know who that is, but I guess.
Well, good, cool. But you look like him there.
Okay, cool. I have a cool
first baseman from the World Series Mets in like 1987 or something.
I have a cool story about him from that day. You remember the bag phones? They're like this big.
Oh yeah.
They're old school.
Yeah.
So we're in the van that day, and we're driving from the signing to the concert, and I'm driving. He's in the passenger seat, and there's one of the other guys behind me, and he's on the back phone, and he's going crazy and getting madder and madder and madder, and I mean it's just crazy. And when he got mad, it's like a black cloud that comes over everybody, and so he goes. I don't give a fuck who your daddy is. If you don't do this, you don't have a fucking job. And he slammed the phone down. And I was like,
okay.
Who the hell was that? And he said, oh, it was my son, Toby. So he was talking to Toby was 16 years old at the time. But that
sounds like an Alec Baldwin story. And to tie that in, Simply Incredible Podcast in the chat says he was filling out his NRA membership card when that picture was taken.
He's got a lifetime membership, so he doesn't have to fill out anything.
Look at you at Quincy Jones, man.
Oh, yeah. Quincy's great.
Quincy Jones.
No crazy stories from Quincy.
Quincy looks like he's just melted into that chair.
Yeah, he was not going anywhere. He was just as content as he could be.
But look at all those scarves and stuff. He's a pimp.
Yeah, there's no words for Quincy.
Now, here's Juliette Lewis.
Yeah.
What was the name of her band that she had? It was called The Licks, wasn't it?
Yeah, Juliet and the Licks.
Now, who's that guy on a couch with her? Is that the drummer, bass player, or guitarist?
I think it's one of the above. I can't.
Or is he just or is he just the guy to pose in the picture with his shirt off? That picture was taken before she ate the other airplane survivors on Yellow Jackets.
I haven't even seen that show, so you just ruined it for me. But anyway.
I did. I just spoiled that show for you.
But yeah, she's really great. She
looks super cool there.
Very cool girl.
If I was around her, I would just say, come out wherever you are.
I know. Or suck her fingers. Remember De Niro did that? You remember that?
Yes, we do.
He sucked her fingers.
Or was that you, Michael?
She sucked his fingers.
Now, do you still have any? Do you keep in? Now, what's the context to this? Were you hired to take photographs of her band?
I was friends with her at the time.
Oh, okay.
So I just went, hung out, and took pictures and stuff.
Are you still friends?
I haven't talked to her in a while.
Okay. Do you have her her number in your cell phone?
Yeah.
You should call her up. Say, I really liked you in Yellow Jackets, even though I haven't seen it. It's a great show. It's been renewed. It's been renewed for a second season.
I've heard a lot about it, but I've never seen it. I've been watching Ozark and Lucifer, and I mean, there's several of them.
Here's the kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Here is the kiss. Yeah, Ace and Peter look like they're about done in this picture.
Ace is like, just take the picture, dude. I want to go home.
Ace and Peter look like the Golden Girls in Kiss makeup in this shot.
Yeah. Peter actually destroyed the drum set and threw the snare drum down and through the air, and it hit me.
I don't know how he had the strength to pick up a drum and throw it.
It was bad.
Yeah.
But that was their very last night as an original.
Now, were you hired by the band Kiss, or were you hired by Peter to take pictures?
Well, that particular night I was hired by Peter, but I was there with all of them.
So you can say you were working for Peter.
Yeah. That night, yes.
see what I did there?
This guy's a comedian. He really is.
Look, I like how it says Kiss. I like how it's the four guys that hate each other.
Yeah.
And look at the sign in the back. It said Kiss Makeup.
I never thought about that. That's awesome.
And they're getting $1 million a night, right? Mm-hmm. But that makeup room, there's like a shower curtain from Kmart hanging on it.
I know, right? And you can buy everything that they play on stage.
There's you just hanging out on the couch with Cheech.
Yep. That's a
Cheech
cool
looked
one. I
like
like
he
that.
rolled. Cheech looks like he rolled one before that picture, though. I have to
I think
say.
he may have. I think you're right. There's no proof of that, but I
Oh.
think maybe he did.
Paul and you are getting ready to do a Dragon Ball move to turn into morph into Dragon Ball Z characters there.
Or E.T.
Right.
phone home.
That's a bad hair night for me. My hair looked like shit
Yeah.
that night.
Your hair still looks better than Paul's, so.
Well, but I mean, his looks great, but it's not, it's designed that way. So
yeah. So Paul's not wearing heels there, right? So he's a pretty tall dude, right?
If you go back and look at him in the picture with standing beside me in makeup, he's like this much taller than me.
Right,
so
right.
His heels are huge, but there he's not wearing anything like that. He's flat-footed.
She likes my 7-inch. Never hears.
And there is Paul after he takes his makeup off. That is of course if you're just joining us. That is Leatherface, also known as Gene Simmons. After in a new movie that's being now, are you writing and producing it, or just directing it, or everything?
It was written by Bill Lanero. He's a great writer. So
Okay.
He and I kind of I had some input to the story, but he's written the the screenplay and everything, and script or whatever. And
so again, for anyone just joining or watching the replay, Michael Strider is working on a movie called Lake Norman. The elevator pitch, it's Jason, Michael, Leatherface on their day off, hanging around by the resort, picking off people like they do.
Yeah, you can come out for it. You guys can come be victims if you want to.
Lemmy.
Yes. He was great.
He was. You know what? Lemmy, hey, Jeff.
Yep.
I play bass, right?
Do you?
Yeah, I do. But the thing is, how I've had I've had neck and back problems my whole life?
Oh, yeah.
Lenny is actually the modicum of health, because by having the mic up there, you're putting your neck back, which is good for your vertebrae. And see, there you go. Don't mind all the drugs, alcohol, and heroin. Just put your neck back, and there you go.
Supposedly he didn't do heroin. He just drank a half a gallon of liquor every day.
Well, he drank heroin and he shot liquor, but whatever.
There you go.
Yes, I shouldn't have said heroin because I know he didn't do heroin, but he was a heavy drinker. Now there's you and Sid Haig.
Yeah.
It looks like before I shaved, that could have been you and me in that picture.
I don't know if you've ever looked that good, but yeah.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Wow. Got a jab in there. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate having Michael Strider on the show tonight. Michael's like, well, Michael, at least, actually, you know what? Sid's mad at Michael because he just got that shirt in Hot Topic and he didn't invite him.
Yes, that's it.
Now, how long was this taken before Sid passed?
That was probably about 10 years before he died.
Oh, really? Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Now, I heard, Sid Haig stars in a lot of movies that were directed by Rob Zombie. He's one of your favorite guys, right?
Right. He sure is, of course. Yeah, he's one of my favorite people.
Okay. Enough said. We'll just leave it at that then.
Hey, I got a question.
Please.
Okay.
So, like, you're working on this movie and everything. I mean, do you have an expected release date for it by chance?
October, like for Halloween, we're hoping.
And is that going to go across streaming sites, or what's the expectation on the release?
Yeah,
we're
going to do any kind and every kind of streaming that we can possibly do. YouTube, anything where you can see movies and stuff. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put it everywhere.
Our mutual friend, Jeannie Besson, is going to be in the film. Does she have a starring role, or is she just a victim?
No, she's got a good role. She's going to have a couple of good roles in it.
Does she wrestle any of the horror icons?
She doesn't wrestle any of them on camera. But we're gonna try to put try to work her wrestling stuff into the movie somehow or another. We do have some ideas that we're going to pitch to the writer this week. So you're definitely going to get to see her do some of her bikini wrestling or something like that in some shape, form, or fashion.
Have you ever worked with Slipknot? Simply Incredible Podcast asks.
Yes, I worked with those guys a couple of times. Yeah.
And really on tours or taking pictures for magazines or what?
On tour, and we did some stuff backstage a long time ago. It was before the guys. I think 2 of them have died now, but it was before those guys. It was when it was the original band.
Sure.
You know, but they were really cool. The fans. That's an insane show. But
sure.
It was a lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. I got some really good. I think there's some pictures on my site of those guys.
Let me show everybody so they can check out your site real quick.
Okay.
Find out where to find you. Yeah, let's go to we got michaelstrider.com. As you can see, we got Eddie Van Halen, Dio, Cheech with her very expensive Gibson guitar. We got Juliette Lewis in the Licks. She was really hot there, by the way.
She's very, very, yes. I can't say anything bad about Juliette.
All right there, Romeo. Anyway, see what I did there? Anyway, if you go to michaelstrider.com, you can look at his portfolio. You can click his links and buy stuff, hopefully. You can go to his portfolio, his bio, join him on social media. I'm going to go to something here. I'm going to click on this Life After project.
Okay.
Don't know where it's taking me. Oh, here we go. We're going to lifeafterproject.com. Tell us a little bit about Life After Project, Michael.
We started it about 5 years ago, and it was started originally to spread awareness to suicide prevention, substance abuse, and then domestic abuse.
Okay.
So I had a couple of friends that had committed suicide, and I've, working with rock stars and actors, and, there's obviously been lots of issues with, mental health, obviously. And I'm not trying to be a smart ass. It just is what it is. We all need help sometimes, and definitely substance abuse. A friend of mine was murdered a couple of years ago by her psychotic ex-boyfriend. Her name is Amy Harwick. And if you go to my Facebook, you can see there's a link that I just posted. They're doing a memorial for her, and it's going to be a really nice statue where people can go to, and it's in support of people that were victims of domestic abuse. So it's a lot of really good stuff that's very, very important. You know what I mean?
And how does that tie into Eddie Van Halen passing away last year?
Eddie, well, he struggled his entire life with substance abuse, since he was 12 years old or 13 years old. I haven't done anything with him in regards to substance abuse, but everybody that's a fan knows that he struggled with it. You hardly ever see a picture of him without alcohol and without cigarettes, and there was, those weren't the only things. I loved him, but those were not the only thing. He had demons, obviously. Just like
now, how well did you know Eddie?
I don't think anybody really knew him that well. He only had less than a handful of close friends. There's tons and tons of people who will say, yeah, I was friends, but most of them were friends with his assistant, Matt Bruck. He just did not have close friends.
Your interactions, though, was he a nice person when he was sober?
Incredibly nice. Even if he wasn't sober, he was very, very nice to all the fans and to the people that worked with him. I can't say anything about the bandmates and people like that, but yeah, to me, he was incredibly nice.
But with this Life After project, you did something with a mural where it was a charitable event. Explain. You can explain that for me, because you'll see that when you go on your website and your Facebook.
Robert Vargas. Robert Vargas is a really huge artist in this area, and he was also an acquaintance of Eddie, and he did a big mural at the Guitar Center in Hollywood when Eddie died. So we went out on his birthday of last year, not this year, but last year, and dedicated it. It was really cool. So I went out that day and I made a bunch of prints of Eddie and gave them out to all the fans.
Very cool. Very cool.
So we had fun with it.
And that raised awareness of the Life After project, right?
Well, it wasn't really related to.
Oh, okay. My apologies. My apologies.
No, it's okay. But I mean, I talk about it wherever I go. So I talked about it, with people that I met that day and stuff. But it wasn't any. It was just all about him. And
I got you.
Well,
let's get off of a serious subject and bring it back to hilarity. Eddie was a nice guy to you. Yeah. Sober or drunk,
right?
David Lee Roth poured some whiskey over your camera, correct? Tell me about that.
Yeah, he poured Jack Daniels. Was it? Yeah, Jack Daniels. I think we were in North Carolina at the time, and we were just goofing around. He was playing, and I was at his feet, in the pit, and so we were just joking around, and then he all of a sudden goes, just like that, and just
now this was one of his solo tours.
It was the one that he did with Sammy. You remember that one?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's why. Yeah. And I didn't share that picture because I'm a huge David Lee Roth fan. Yeah. And that picture, his hair looked ridiculous. He looked like Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings. So I didn't share that picture. But I noticed he did have the Jack Daniels bottle in his hand. And
yeah, you could see it fly. You could see the liquor flying around right after he did it.
So it was just joking around. He didn't do it maliciously.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It ruined my camera, and he didn't have to pay for it. So.
Have you ever spoken to him, like outside of performing?
A couple of times.
How is he really?
Anthony, I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about the dude. He's on another planet. He's just
you can tell that. Yeah,
he's in another universe, and he was never mean to me. He was never.
Well, that's good.
Aside from destroying my camera.
That's
good.
Yeah.
He's just
it's
a lot
bananas. Right. I got you.
Right. So he's cool, but he supposedly is not having a good time right now. So I don't know. He released a message. Did you guys see that 6-minute message that video message that he did?
No.
If you YouTube it, you'll see it. He talks about it. You have to really pay attention to what he says. He tells Eddie, he said, well, I thought I would go before you. And he said, and one thing that he said was objects in the mirror and he says, Eddie, objects in the mirror may be closer. Well, he said, no, objects in the mirror that you see may be me.
Wow.
So he tells things kind of secretly, but he's, he had to cancel the Las Vegas dates.
I just, anybody in the comments, Michael, I've never got this before.
Girls will do what you say.
Yeah, I just got a comment from Loveface XYZ. Definitely and what that is a Cams only Rush fan site. Loveface XYZ. Oh no, that's YYZ. Anyway, here girls will do what you say. They have been blocked. They have been blocked now. So yeah, message deleted.
So I got one last question real quick. So Mike, you've been doing all these things, you've been been doing a lot of photography and all that, and now you're doing a little bit of acting and you're doing directing. What are your future admirations? Like, is photography still like at the very front end, or are you like aspirations for other things right now?
Yeah, photography is what I love to do. Obviously, these days you can't really make as much money as you used to be able to. So as long as you're doing it for love and the passion, then it's great. But don't do it for money, because if you do, you're going to be fucked.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Unless you don't need things like food and shelter. If you don't need those things, don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
Right. So for all you artists out there, like all three of us on the panel, yeah, don't do it for money, because you're never going to make it.
Right. As far as what you were saying earlier about the girls that do what you want, I thought you guys were like, okay, I like it when girls do what I want.
No, it says here, girls will do what you say, which is totally weird.
There you go. That's crazy.
Simply Incredible Podcasts asks, anyone you haven't gotten to work with that you want to work with?
Can it be like alive or dead?
Let's do alive first and then dead. How's that?
Oh God, I think I've worked with. I would say alive. I think I've worked with almost everybody that I've wanted to. I definitely would like to work with Gwen again. Kiss would be good on the last tour, but I haven't worked with those guys in years.
And you just gave out their weave secrets to the world.
Yeah,
so.
And so I'm not going to be on their best,
No.
on their list at this point. Their shit list maybe. I don't know. I mean, I've worked with pretty much everybody that I've wanted to. I've been very, very lucky.
All right. So since you copped out of that answer,
Elvis would have been great.
Yeah, the dead question, Elvis. Now, but you know what though? We're not just talking about musicians. Let's go even actors or actresses. There must be someone alive who's working today, whether it be Robert Downey Jr. or Kate Beckinsale or Anne Hathaway or whoever. Okay, so there must be someone you'd want to work with.
Kate Beckinsale would be great. I'm gonna say one name, and I know that I'm gonna put a disclaimer out there before I say it.
Okay.
I'm just talking about his work.
Bill Cosby.
No, I don't care who.
Harvey Weinstein.
No, Jesus, you're gonna get me killed. No, keep going. You don't have to guess it. De Niro. I would love to work with De Niro or Pacino. Or Scorsese.
Hooah! What's wrong with that? All right, good.
Yeah, but most people, De Niro has kind of lost his mind. Yeah, but Kate Beckinsale, yes, please.
All these Simply Incredible says O.J. Simpson. That's good.
A friend of mine was in a movie with him.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Literally.
No doubt it was somebody else.
Hey, OJ was in a lot of movies. So, he was in that. He was in that fake moon landing movie, and then he was in all the Naked Gun movies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And dead. So you want to work with Elvis? No, John Lennon, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison. You got Jim Morrison, played by what's his face on the wall back there?
Kilmer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was phenomenal. If you haven't seen that movie, it was one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah, spoiler, we've seen him.
Okay, there you go. If you haven't seen it by now, you're not going to see it.
Yeah, he dies at the end. Maybe.
In a bathtub.
Maybe.
Only 3 people saw his body. So
right, it's like Eddie and the Cruisers, but with the Doors.
Oh, I'm good friends with Michael Paré. Eddie.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't believe you know who that is.
Of course. Dude, I'm 51 years old. I know who Michael Paré is. In fact, I followed him on The Greatest American Hero before he was ever on Eddie and the Cruisers. So there you go.
There you go. You want him to come on your show sometime?
With Connie Selica.
You want him on your show sometime?
I would love to have Michael Paré on my show. Are you kidding me? Yes. Okay. Connect me with an email to him. I'll give you even though we've set up this interview, you don't have my email. I'll send you my email. We'll hook up. Yeah.
I'm graduated to getting your email address.
Yeah. There we go. So Jeff, any other questions for our good buddy Michael Strider tonight?
No, I think he pretty much answered everything that I had.
What kind of salad dressing does he like?
Raspberry vinaigrette. All right.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Simply Incredible Podcast says I want to be on the show with Michael. You're referring to Paré, right? Whatever.
No, he's referring to
I invited him to be on this show and he declined. So he said he wanted to watch it. With his pants down, I think.
Oh, wow.
And he says if you work with Kate Beckinsale, I will offer to be your assistant. Oh, that brings up a point now. I actually had a very, very let's just say I was enamored with a certain Playboy no, well, a Playboy pictorial and a woman who is in Sports Illustrated and a woman who has red hair, who I've seen you like in personal pictures with. You know exactly who I'm talking about. I believe she was also in a horror movie with what's his face, the comedian from SNL.
Dennis Miller.
Yes. So tell me about that. It looked like you were chilling on the ski slopes or something.
No comment.
And tell people who I'm talking about.
She's a beautiful, beautiful girl, inside and out. She's very beautiful.
Who am I talking about?
Angie Everhart.
Angie Everhart.
Yeah.
Okay, so Angie Everhart was a preoccupation, I guess, when I was in my senior year of college, looking at the magazines. But anyway, Angie. In fact, I think I bought one of those VHS Sports Illustrated best of swimsuit tapes just to watch that in slow motion. But anyway,
I didn't even know she was in Sports Illustrated.
Oh yeah, she was a Sports Illustrated model. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to ask her. I didn't even know that. I know she was
you'll have to ask her. Is she like in the next room?
Not right now, no.
Oh wow. Okay. So you're not going to divulge is that a professional or a personal relationship?
Well, I mean, next question.
Okay, fine.
She's
a friend of yours.
Yeah, she's really cool. She's really
and you're in LA?
Yeah.
What has she been doing lately since Tales from the Crypt 2 or whatever that movie was?
Oh, she's doing she has lots of like business stuff going on. I mean, she's like quite the little entrepreneur.
The pictures that I saw of you with her looked like you were on vacation together somewhere. Were those recent or is that a while ago?
I think it was probably from like 6 months ago, maybe not even that. Probably 3 or 4 months ago.
Because unless you had a special filter on, she looks amazing.
Yeah, she took me to Guns N' Roses with.
That's what I saw the picture of. Okay.
Yeah, we had she got VIP tickets for Guns N' Roses and more so Wolfgang Van Halen, and at the stadium in LA. So for my birthday, that was incredible.
Jeff,
I think that's what you saw probably.
Jeff, would you check
the comments? Would
you check the floor because of all the names that Michael's dropping?
I'm not dropping them. You're making me drop them.
So Mammoth was opening for Guns N' Roses, right?
Yeah, I wonder how he got that one, but yeah.
Yeah. So are you friends with Wolfie?
No, I don't have any connections with them at this point.
But Angie got VIP tickets to the show.
Yeah.
Did she used to date like Slash in like 20 years ago or something?
Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, really? She used to date Eddie Van Halen?
Yeah, she did.
While he was with Valerie?
I think it's pretty known. It's probably been all over the internet and everything at this point. So
no wonder those guitars are red. Can we get Angie on the show, please? Please.
I'm sure. I knew that was coming.
Angie would, and you know what? I'm sorry, but fuck Michael Paré.
He would understand. He would understand.
Mike Navarino says Bordello of Blood. Great movie. Look at all these.
You know what? I have never seen that movie before, believe it or not.
Well, Angie's in it.
I know. I've never seen it.
Well, between that and the Sports Illustrated VHS, but I guess you don't need to see the videotapes because you're seeing it live in Memorex, so it's all good.
That's a good one. I never knew about Sports Illustrated. I really didn't, and I've never seen that movie either. And I know it's like a cult classic, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, I got to check it out.
I think she's the villain in the movie, if I'm not mistaken.
I think she is too. She's a vampire, I believe, right?
Yeah. Something like, who cares? She's a something anyway. Well, I'm glad we took the interview in that way, in this direction, because that's like Michael Strider sent me like 8 million pictures of like Eddie Van Halen, David Lee Roth, Marilyn Manson, Ted Nugent, and when I went on his Facebook page or whatever, all I saw was Angie Everhart, and I'm like, forget all these other people.
The first thing my mom said, my mom was like, Mike, because my mom is a beautician, and she said, Michael, is that hair really red? And I said, it's natural. That's natural red. That's not.
I'm going to go somewhere, but I'm not. So we'll just leave it at that.
My face is red now.
Yeah. I saw red when I opened up the door. Anyway, hopefully Angie's watching this. Angie, you look fantastic. And I'm inviting you to come on the show anytime, like every week if you want, whatever. But Michael Strider, again, if you're just joining us on the replay, you've missed an hour and 12 minutes, the most captivating interview. We're here with Michael Strider. He's a celebrity photographer, a rock and roll photographer, a actor, director. Again, check out Michael Strider is going to be in episode 7 or 8. He's not sure of Pam and Tommy airing on Hulu. I think they aired the first 3 episodes.
Yep, 3 going on 4.
And is it any good? I haven't seen it.
I haven't.
Are you kidding me?
What?
Oh, it's excellent.
Well, I don't. Jeff, you have to give me your Hulu password because mine expired. The one that I was bootlegging. So
all I can say is you'll love the talking penis.
All right. Well, and then after I watch the show, I have to go in my garage and get the video cassette to compare the real video and the one in the show.
You have the actual. You have the original.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I remember seeing it, and I remember the first thing I remember thinking, God, he better hope and pray nobody in prison has ever seen that video because he's going to be in a lot of trouble if they did.
Yeah, well.
I was like, oh, I don't want to see that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what they do in the TV show, but
yeah. On the TV show, it does things and tricks that you can only go, man, I don't think Mike can contortion like that.
Now I gotta ask you too, Michael. You knew Tommy and the crew when they were doing their probably the Generation Swine tour, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was back in the days.
I don't know if Pamela was still with Tommy at the time. She probably wasn't. Have you ever met Pamela Anderson?
Never did anything with her. She's cool though. She's really cool from what I've understood. I've never met her, but I've always heard that she's incredibly nice and very cool.
Yeah, she was nice when I met her, but unfortunately that was before she had even appeared on TV. I think maybe she was on Married with Children when how did these people get back on? I blocked them already.
Well, they strip without clothing.
What the hell, man?
At least Tommy. I mean, with Tommy, nobody. I was never assaulted by Tommy anyway.
Right.
Which wasn't always the case. That happened a lot.
That's
they're just popping on, man.
Yeah, they are. Fucking A.
All right,
I can't even block these people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway, whatever. At least it's one more person watching the show, even though it's a robot AI from Shanghai. Yeah. Hey, online strips without clothing. That's great. Thank you, Michael. If you're watching the replay, again, we're with Michael Strider, celebrity photographer, director, upcoming show called Lake Norman. He's an actor. He's in episode 7 and or 8 or either of Pam and Tommy airing on Hulu. Michael, any other acting gigs coming up?
The only thing I've got going on right now is, trying to get everything together for the move. So it's just the Lake Norman thing.
Now let's talk about that. Are you in LA right now?
Yeah. And
you're moving to North Carolina?
Yeah, I'm moving back because I'm from there originally.
Oh, okay. What part?
From the Greensboro area. It's a small town outside of Greensboro.
All right. What does Angie Everhart think of you moving there?
I haven't told her yet.
Oh, that's not good.
I know. So
find out here live.
Yeah, she just found out watching this program.
I know she did, right?
Yeah. Anyway, she's one of the two. She's actually Love Face XYZ.
Probably so.
That's how Sports Illustrated former models, they make money now.
Yeah, she's been out of town and stuff on and off, so I'm trying to talk to her in person, but we'll see.
I got you. All right. Well, I think I would take the time to do that, but that's all right. Hey, any concerts? Are you got any upcoming gigs doing photography, rock
Nothing
and or celebrity? No,
nothing at all right now.
No. All right. Hey, I wish I would have known you in the last 20 years, because guess what? I had Simply Incredible podcast says it's only me and Angie watching right now.
Probably so.
I used to have a magazine called That's Entertainment Magazine and Music Entertainment Magazine. Jeff knows all about it because Jeff used to go to a lot of free rock concerts because of that. We saw Heaven and Hell, Dio and Sabbath. We saw Queensryche in the Orlando, Florida area. Okay. Jeff's ridden shotgun with me to many a free concert because I used to get pit passes to go shoot for my magazine.
I used to call those people ticket takers.
Well, I'm sorry?
I used to call those people ticket takers.
Yes. Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, but I had a real magazine. It was it was a free publication in the 7-Elevens in the Daytona Beach area, and it was all music related. I shot Black Label Society, Shadows Fall, Motley Crue, when their reunion tour about 12, 13, 15 years ago. I don't know, maybe more. I don't even, the last 20 years is a blur, but all those bands, and I used to interview and shoot photography, and I could have used someone in the California scene, maybe throwing me some pictures here and there. I had a gentleman named Michael Van Gelder. He was shooting probably the same time as you, because I noticed like you have pictures of Taylor Swift and No Doubt and all kinds of stuff. And that's when I was doing my magazine. Well, kind of when Taylor started.
I've worked with Taylor a lot. She actually has the strongest handshake that I've ever experienced in my entire life.
That was a weird
handshake.
Really crazy. Really crazy. I know, but I've never forgotten it since. Oh, okay. Well, never. You know what I mean. It was like, wow.
Quite a grip you got there, Taylor.
It is, Taylor. It's like, wow. So, what do you think about Motley Crue now, though?
What do I think about them? Well, Jeff's still sitting on tickets for their tour. That's just, I guess, accruing interest 4 years later. What do I think about Motley Crue? I think Motley Crue is one of the greatest rock bands ever. If it was 1997 again, I don't think Vince Neil can sing for shit, and that's just my opinion.
That's true. That's fact.
Yeah,
that is not fake news. That's not fake news. That is fact.
No, he's bad, and they need. I think it's terrible to say, but the whole pandemic that started maybe saved them from a lot of embarrassment, because I think Def Leppard and even Poison would have wiped the floor with them in the live concert. I just think his vocals are atrocious.
Yeah, so, it's bad.
It's bad. And and it's a shame, because they were a great band, but I don't care how much physical training you do. I don't care if he loses so much weight that he's 120 pounds at the US Festival in '83. I don't care if he looks like that. He still can't sing anymore. And
he sounded terrible. Bad. He sounded terrible at the US Festival in '83.
That's true too. I actually have the US Festival, and to be honest with you, even though I'm a bass player and I dig Nikki Sixx's songwriting and Mick Mars is amazing, I still think Tommy is that band. You take the drums away from that band, they are not the band that you hear. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Ever work with Fozzy?
I have not, but I'm friends with PJ is his bass player, PJ Farley.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see PJ and Steve, which I've been friends with Steve Brown for 30 years from Trickster. Both of those guys are from Trickster. And
Don't treat me bad, Michael.
Yeah, they're playing the Whiskey, I think, in about a week and a half. So I'm going to that. But I've never shot them with Jericho before. I've never shot PJ with Jericho before. I shot Jericho as a wrestler, but not as a singer.
Now, did you make a foray into the wrestling photography arena? No pun intended.
Years and years ago, I did that with, like Mick Foley and Abdul the Butcher and all those guys. It's very cool, but
nice.
It was very short-lived. So it was fun while it lasted, I've shot, to be honest with you, I've shot more wrestling pictures of Jeannie than anybody else. Thousands and thousands and thousands of photos.
Well, that sounds like a lot more fun. Anyway, Michael, we're going to end this no holds barred conversation on that note. I want to thank you very much for coming on. Jeff, do you have a parting question or a comment for Michael?
No parting questions, but it's been an absolute pleasure being with you, Michael, and learning about everything that you've done and that you're continuing to do. And I look forward to this release that you're going to be putting out.
Michael, selfless promotion. Jeff and I have been playing off and on in a band called Luna Dementia for many years. Go look us up on YouTube and hit me up on Facebook and go like the band. Okay, we have a very power metal sound, but we also sound a lot like Kiss and Motley Crue and all those LA bands because this guy plays guitar and I sing very high. And there you go. All right.
Cool. I'll definitely.
And now that I'm talking about Jeff's guitar prowess, have you ever worked with Dokken?
No. I think I shot Don Dokken at the Whiskey one time.
All right.
But I've never worked with George.
Jeff Rankin's guitar prowess reminds me of George Lynch. Oh, wow. And unfortunately, everyone that sees us live always says it too. But hey, if you're going to be reminded of a guitarist, at least be reminded of a great dude. And also, I think he plays a lot like the guy from Extreme too, Nuno Betancourt. So there you go. All right.
I'll check you guys out for sure.
Hey, definitely. And thank you, Michael. Michael, I'm going to sign us out. But do me a favor, stick around for a second. We'll chat in the green room for a moment. Okay.
Cool.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining the broadcast tonight. Please hit the like button, hit the notification button, subscribe, and more importantly, go to michaelstrider.com and check out his stuff. Send him money. And please take care of Loveface XYZ because those girls, they do online strips without clothing. Good night.
Thanks for